Hi ladies and gentlemen, Sean Davies with Coloradoreinsman. I am back out here for round 2 at Shiloh Acres Horse Rescue out here in Alt, Colorado. Round 2 with Toothless, our great big buck and stock horse that you saw the first video of me just kind of getting him to where I could even touch him with a stick. I've stepped in here today and he's already a little bit more curious, already a little bit more willing to be touched, and he's not running all over the place just in the first couple minutes of me standing here. Now I'm going to see how he reacts to me today. I'm going to kind of go back to where I finished up last time, and you saw at the end of the video we had a really bad apocalyptic storm come in and the wind just kicked up, and I had already gotten my rope over him, my big soft rope, and put a little pressure on him, and he was starting to give to me. Now he's already coming up here to the camera going, okay, I'll say hello. So I'm going to ask him I'm just going to approach him with my hand and say, will you reach out to my hand? Now look at that. What a big difference between the first time and this time. I'm going to come over here and say, hello, Junior. Now he's not rushing past me like he did the first time. He probably will, because I'm going to put a little bit more pressure on him. I'm saying, hey, why don't you say hello? Good boy. And then I take that pressure off. So I'm really hoping to progress to a point where I can really put some pressure on him. I want to come up here and just say, hey, will you let me come in? And he kind of goes, no. What I don't want him getting used to doing is pushing that butt towards me. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to get in a zone right here. Let him smell me. Good boy. I'm going to walk off right there. See if he'd follow me at all. He goes, no, I'd rather sniff my poop. That's okay. Well, that's good. He positioned himself in a better place here. Let's just come over here, and I want to see if he'll say hello again, and then I'll take that pressure off. I've got no time limit here. Good boy. He's in a different pen today than he was last time. The other gate was a little bit higher. Good boy. Now I just want him to stand there and say hello. Now he likes presenting this side more than the other side. Let me see if he's any better here. Up. And now today he's presenting this side. Now I could play with this for hours and eventually get to pet him. But I'm going to do something. I'm going to go back to my stick for a minute like I did last week. And I'm just going to come in here, and he may rush around. I'm going to ask him to stand still gently and not jump over that dang fence. I'm just going to come in at his withers. You may see the stick appear. There. I'm just going to let that pet him. Just going to let that pet him. Good boy. He's checking it out, he's looking, and then I'm going to take that away. Now if you watch the first video, you see how frantic he was about that. He didn't get so frantic this time. I'm just going to let him think. Contemplate that. I'm going to come back in here and try and get back in position. I'm just going to reach over and touch it. Now what I really like about this guy is he's not running and kicking at me. Good boy. I'll let him smell that. Oh, he wants to play with it. Oh, what are you doing? No biting that, son. Let me rub his neck. Now he's kind of testing that gate. That's the low spot in here. I really don't like him testing that spot. I'm going to get him over here. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, don't play with that. I'm going to rub his neck. Good boy. I'm going to rub him on the shoulder right here. Good boy. Rub his chin. Rub his shoulder. I'm not going to let him just get away from it. I'm going to rub him wherever he goes. I'm going to rub his back. I'm going to rub his shoulder. I'm going to rub his neck. Good boy. Now he may want to come this way. I'm just going to rub him up here on the top of his neck. I don't want him getting feeling so braced up that he feels he has to jump.
Hey,
he's going to come up and say hello to everybody with the camera.
Hi.
I'm going to rub him right here. Good boy. Now you look at him, compared to last week, this horse has calmed down immensely. I'm just going to say, hey. Now he is built like a Arnold Schwarzenegger horse. Like he ate all of Arnold Schwarzenegger's years-long supply of steroids.
Is he interested in you?
Yeah, he likes me.
So I'm just rubbing him. Wherever he goes, I can touch him. And he's kind of going, well, this isn't that bad. Can I come up here and touch him? Just want him to get comfortable. And he's getting more comfortable. Good boy. He says, hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Now let me stop him over here. I do not want to get cornered. Okay, say this is a little shorter run on this side than it is on the other. But that's okay. See, I'm going to hide on this side and you can't get me. Good boy. Just rubbing him. Good boy. There you go. And then I touch him and I'm going to walk off. And just let him feel that. So I'm going to have, I could do this for a good long while. But I'm going to switch over to a rope and just get my rope on him. And I want to get a little pressure and release on him. He's going, oh, I'd like to grab you by the hair. He says, Madeline, help me. All right, so I'm going to switch out here, and I'm going to grab my big long rope, so stay tuned. So where we left off last, well, I guess it's been 2 weeks ago, was I had taken this great big soft cotton rope, and I had tossed it over him, and just worked it on his body a little bit. So I'm actually going to go back to that now a little quicker this week. First I want to present this rope to him. I want him to smell it. I'm going to take it away and just say, hey, it's not going to kill you. Now I'm going to have to toss it up on him, and he might freak out a little bit. He's going, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you're trying to kill me, aren't you? You're trying to kill me. It's not going to hurt him. There. It just touches him and comes off. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. There you go, son. There we go. Now, what I want to do for him is just let it get on him. Let it touch him. It's around his leg. He can just get used to it. It's hanging off his head. Good boy.
You're all right.
You're fine, son.
Okay.
You're fine.
You're okay.
Now, ideally, I'm just going to get him to step forward. There we go. We got it out from his leg. And ideally, I want to just toss a loop up over his neck like that. Good boy. Now, you see, I got a little bit of a loop there. There's no pressure. And I pick this up. And now I've got some semblance of control on him. Sort of. But now he's over there and I can just work this rope. I can say, hey, I'm just touching you. Nobody's hurting you. Let me get that rope over his back. Let me touch him there. He's going, what in the world is going on? How are you able to touch me way over there? Now I'm going to bring his head with me. So I just barely put any weight on that rope And I can, oh, look at him give. Look at him give right there. Beautiful, beautiful young man. Now this is a real heavy rope, but it's soft and it's long, and I want it heavy right now, so when I push it, if I push him this way, see, now I brought him back. Good boy. Now I'm going to toss it over his back. I'm going to get him used to these things touching him. And I'm going to just touch him on the chest and flick this rope around his chest. I'm going to rub him back and forth with it. Flick it over his back. Good boy. Rub him on the neck. Good boy. Good boy. Bring him with me. Right here. Good boy. I'm going to bring him with me. Good boy. Okay, I'm leading my horse right now. I'm going to bring him with me. Step him over here. Good boy. You put a little pressure on me. I'm going to say, no. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going to let him smell my hand. I'm going to put a little pressure right here. And get him to step this way. Put a little pressure. Put a little pressure. Oh, he says, I got bigger pressure than you do. But I'm going to bring him this way. Good boy. I'm going to let him smell my hand. I'm going to say, no, you don't get away from me. Let him smell my hand. Good boy. Good boy. No, you don't get to. No, you don't get to. No, you don't get to. I'm going to face him up. Good boy. Good boy. He said that darn water trough was not nice and I wanted to kick it because it frustrated me. Don't go that way. Face me up. Face me up. Now, I will look away if I want to. And I say, no, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. Up. He says, I know that trick. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. So I really have to work this rope a little bit. So now, see, he ducked out of my rope last time because I wanted to work him some. Just get your hand out of the way. Put the hand out of the camera. Good. See, I want him to realize that he can't really get away here. And I'm not hurting. I'm just touching. Good boy. See, he's licking and chewing. So I'm going to do something now that will help me have a little bit more control. I'm going to cross this right there and start twirling this rope around itself. Get myself a great big twisted lead rope here. Good boy. And I'm going to work on getting him to understand pressure and release. Okay. So he can't duck out. Good boy. Now. Now. We're talking. Okay, young man. So for all intents and purposes, I've got a great big lead rope on him. And I'm going to ask him right here, I'm going to put a little pressure. As he moves, I'm going to put a little pressure and direct him my way. I'm going to walk towards his rear end, put a little pressure, and direct him my way and give to him right there. Good boy. Good boy. I'm going to put a little pressure right here and ask him to step. Good. He's smart. He's realizing I'm not hurting him. I'm going to come in here and say hello. Good boy. Oh, it's a big baby. Who's a big baby? Don't go that way. Face me and release. Don't go that way. Good boy. Good boy. Who's a baby? Oh, he's a baby. I don't think this guy has ever been handled in a kind way. Good boy. Who's a big baby? Look at you. I'm going to let him smell my shoulder. And walk away. I like those little things. Let's see if he'll just walk forward a little bit. Good boy. I took that pressure off. The slightest try that this horse gives me, I'm going to give to him. And I'm just letting him have the back of my shoulder in a non-threatening way, and hopefully he doesn't take a chunk out of it. Who's a baby? Who's a big baby? Who's a big man? I'm going to let him smell me. And touch his face. Don't attack me. He wanted to go. I'm going to pull pressure and get him to face me and release. So we're making a huge breakthrough right here. He's not trying to run off as hard. Good boy. If he wants his butt in the corner, good boy. Good boy. Now right there he avoided, so I'm going to put a little pressure. Let him think. Just let him think about it. And say, hey, there we go. Who's your big baby? Who's your big baby? Who's a big baby? Now that's nice. Good boy. That's nice. Who's a big baby? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Who's a big baby? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So his whole demeanor is starting to change. Good boy. Good boy. How you doing? Good boy. Let's just see if he can handle me standing next to him for a second. He said, "Woo, that was a lot. That was a lot. But there's pressure over there, and there's not any pressure there next to me." Good boy. He says, "That's a lot." And he may take off. See, I'm going to relieve the pressure right there. Who's a big monster? Look at that. Look at that big monster. Wow, what a big breakthrough right there. That's a big breakthrough. Who's a big man? Who's a big man? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Who's a big man? Well, what a big breakthrough we're making. Who's your big baby? Yes, sir. Just being able to touch this guy, he's realizing I'm not killing him. Good boy. Just being able to touch him. He's still not quite sure, but he's doing pretty good here. Now, he said, that was a lot because you went somewhere you hadn't touched before. So I'm just going to put a little pressure on him, get him to face me up, take that pressure off, and let him face me and realize that's where no pressure is. And let me come back in and get where I was. See, now he's comfortable with me in this sweet spot. Who's your baby? I'm going to come up here to his face. Just rub his face for a second. Who's a baby? And then I'm going to take that pressure off. Now what I do with my hat while I'm this close to him is I tip my hat to where he can't see my eyes and he doesn't feel that predatory threat. And that's another reason why you wear a hat. See, I can be right here, drop my hat brim right below his eyes. I can see where he is, but he can't see my eye, so he doesn't feel the stare of a predatory threat. And I'm going to rub him. Who's a big baby? I'm going to rub the front of his neck. I want to get as many places as I can. I want to rub his leg. Good boy. This is the same stuff. Now he's giving a lot quicker because he's been around people, I think, in his life. I don't think he's very handled hardly ever. If he was, it's a miracle. He sure wasn't handled very well, and who knows, with the big bucking stock brand he's got, you know, he may have just been out in the pasture as a stud, young stud. He's got these big jowls and he's so big and built. Well, I wish I had a tape. He's tall right here at the peak of his wither. You know, he's well over 16 hands. At first glance, I was in a hole over there. I thought he was much taller, but he's not 17 like I thought. Now I'm just rubbing him, and now I'm able to rub him there where I hadn't rubbed before, and that was good. I'm rubbing his butt, and that was good, so let me relax on that. Now I've got this big old humongous rope, and I think I'm at a point where I can switch out. I've got an old Makati rein that I'm going to use. It's 22 feet long. It's a little lighter for me to handle, and I'm going to put that on and see if I can actually create a halter and get him where he'll give even more. So I'm going to just switch ropes. Alright, so what I've done, I have a old parachute cord Makati rein, and I've tied a bowline knot on his neck here, and for all intents and purposes for now I've got a lead rope that I can at least put a little lighter pressure and get him to move, but I am, yes, don't step on my foot, I'm petting him all over this side. Now I would like to turn this way as I go back a little bit. He might be less inclined to burst forward, and if he is, I can just spin around. Good boy. Now that's pretty dang good. And I'm going to back off right there and let him think about that. And you look at his whole demeanor. He's softening up in the eyes, really relaxing in the face. Good boy. Good boy. And I'm going to reduce my energy, come in here, and just pet him. And he didn't even flinch that time. That's what I'm looking for. He didn't even flinch. And I'm going to walk back, and this time I'm going to put a little pressure on him and say, hey, why don't you come with me a couple steps, and I'll let him go. Good boy. Now here's the thing, I haven't gotten to this other side yet. Let's see if I can. He really likes to present that left side. Now I got to make sure that I double my rope up here instead of circle it around my hand. So if he does, so he's going to be a whole different horse on this side for a minute. See right there, he wanted to avoid, and I'm going to have to do the same thing on this side that I did on that side. Make sure he faces up to me. And I'm just going to go right back to the way I worked on the other side, on his left side, and let him get comfortable to me over here. Ooh. Ooh. Now, I'm just going to get him to face me. Good boy. He's really much more uptight about this right side, which is kind of common. And face me. Good boy. He understands that. Look at that change in his demeanor right there. Let me just get him used to me standing here. So he's starting to get a little bit more comfortable with me here. I'm going to let him smell my hand. Would you, baby? Let me see if I can touch his face. See right there, he ran into pressure. I'd like him to get off of that pressure. Good. Where's the big baby? Right there, I got his eye right out of my vision below my hat. Let me just touch his face. Oh, that's a good boy. That's a good boy. He was comfortable with that, so let me take that pressure off. Whew. It's so important to stay as calm as you can and really picture him allowing you to touch him. And I like that response right there. That's a beautiful thing. Good boy. Good boy. Let me just let him feel me. Come back in here. Let him smell my hand. Let me touch his face. Touch his neck. Got no pressure on him there. And he moved away from it, but I'm not going to pull on him right there. So that was very comfortable on his part. Now he gets a little, he sees people putting their windscreen in back there, or sunscreen in their windshield, and he's going, ooh, that's scary. You know, let me touch his face again. Now I'm going to pull him right around here and make him look at me. Maybe he might be more comfortable over here where he can see. Good boy. He kind of likes to get his butt right in this corner. Good boy. Let's try to stay in front of his shoulder here. Touch his face. Good boy. I want to just establish my position with him. I don't want to crowd him, but I want him to relax. Right there, touching his shoulder. Who's a good boy? He is a nice horse. He's got such a kind eye. He wants to be gentle. Let me just walk with him for a second and not let him turn his butt to me. Good boy. So now I'm walking with him when he moves and rubbing him. So he can't get away from me. In a sense, it's just like the stick. But I want to stay in a position to where if he did run past me, good boy. I want him comfortable with me here. So he's going away, but I'm going with him and I'm petting him and calming him down. And he says, oh, I like it here by the camera. I just want to come right back in and rub him. He's a good boy. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to leave. So I've been able to touch both sides, which is huge. And if that's all I get today with this horse, we're going to be in good shape. But I'm going to ask him to lead. Good boy. I'm going to ask him to lead again. Step over, get off the pressure, and release. Step over, get off of pressure, release. Let's walk this way. Put a little pressure. Ask him to step forward, release. So now I'm just asking him to get off of that pressure. So if I do advance to getting a halter on, good boy, who's a baby? Now, I am going to try to make a halter out of my lead rope. Good boy, without getting him all upset. Alright, we're having a little camera difficulty. We didn't bring enough good batteries, so our batteries were having to change back and forth. But in that time, a short time, I've made a makeshift halter here for Toothless. Out of my Makati rein, I just expanded the loop on my bowline knot and was able to get the rope over his nose and then back down on the other side of my loop. So in a sense, it gives me a little bit more control over his nose, as you see, and he is being very willing. You know, once I'm able to get my hands on him, he's pretty darn willing about stuff. But I don't think this horse has had a whole lot going on in his life. So my next goal is to get this halter on him. So I'm going to get my main lead rope out of my hands here, and I'm just going to rub him with this halter a little bit. And he's been pretty good. Once I do things to rub him, he's been pretty good about stuff. I want to just get this halter on the other side here and let that hang down and get up here around his neck. And he kind of sees it over there and he says, oh my goodness, that thing's scary. And then as I get it situated, I'm going to try to get down here by his nose, get this over his nose. And I'm getting good in my old age. And get this thing over. So what I've done here is I'm just going to get this halter over my rope and get this thing tied. And boy, my goal today of getting a halter on this guy is accomplished. Now I'm wondering if I can tighten up this Theodore knot at all. It looks like it's been pulled back on so many times I probably won't be able to. But now what I'm going to do is undo my bowline knot. He's stomping at flies, and who's a big boy? He's a big boy. Now if I can drop that over his nose and pull it out, our gentleman has a halter on. Look at you, son. Now what I might like to do, because I don't think there's a chance in heck that I'm going to get this Theodore knot out, because it is one that's tied a really funky way and it's been pulled back so many times. So I'm going to get some tape and wrap that right there so that's a little bit more on his face. Ouch. Don't smash my finger against the rail, young man. And then we'll have a little bit better halter on him. So stay tuned. Okay, so my goal for today was just to get a halter on this guy, and we've achieved that. So I'm going to step it up one more time. I'm going to see, we've got a little turnout area over here that I'm going to just give him his first lesson in leading. And he's already doing pretty darn good, but we're going to bring him through the barn here and then on out into this turnout area and see if I can hang on to him. So we're going to just come through here, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to ask him to follow me around. Just lead. I'm going to follow me. Get him to step and take that pressure off. Step. Take that pressure off. And see, this is his little turnout area where he likes to get out and buck and jump around, so he may try that. I just mostly want him to get that right there. Figure out where I go, he goes. Hey, I'm thrilled. Now you can tell this horse doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of lead training. I don't want to face him. I want to just keep looking away and putting a little pressure on him, get him to break a step and walk off and take that pressure off. Let's see if he'll follow me. Let's see if I can keep him moving and angling. And there we go. Good boy. And there we go. Give that pressure. There we go. He thought about getting silly. I want to get him to give me a little bit right here. And let go. Good boy. Good boy. Now out here is a new place. I want to come over, let him smell me, and I want to pet him. I want to give him a chance to relax. Come back in. He's getting pretty comfortable with me petting him. Now I want to turn him right there. He wanted to go into that pressure and I turned him and faced him up. And face him up. Face him up. And pet him. Good boy. And let him relax right there. Don't let him get silly. Good boy. Now I'm going to ask him to walk off with me. Put this lead rope around my waist and walk off with me. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. See if he can take that pressure off. So far, so good. Good boy. So I'm not bearing all that pressure on my arms and letting him pull. I'm just keeping him following me. Broke free right there. Let him relax. Who's a big old black baby? Who's a big old monster? Who's a big old monster? Yes, sir. He says, okay, dude. You made a lot of stuff going on with me today. Right there, I just taught him that I can control him a little bit. Let's ask him to go this way. Good boy. Walk off. Oh, he broke free. Look at that. That horse is leading with 2 fingers on the lead rope now. Oh, it's a good boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good boy. So we are just about finished with him. And stop right there. That's a great finale. Oh, he's a baby. That was a good finale for him. That's the first time he's offered to throw any kind of fit all day. And I turned him around and he stopped and he's letting me pet him. So that's a lot of pressure for this guy. Let's see if he'll just walk off. Come on. Good boy. This is my big finale, ladies and gentlemen. He's leading off pretty good right there. So I'm going to stop right there and pet him and call it a day. Because by God, that horse really came a long way today. He says, yes, I did, and I didn't kill you. And I appreciate that greatly. So from Shiloh Acres Horse Rescue out in Alt, Colorado, this is temporarily toothless or junior or black tornado of death, whichever you like the better. We're working on getting some funding for training with this guy to get him down to my place. So if you'd like to help, I'll put you in touch with Amber out here at Shiloh Acres. So stay tuned for more of this guy, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk to you soon.